Hi there, I'm Chloe Crabtree of CelebrateAndDecorate.com. Welcome. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make a really cool Easter decoration. This is an Easter egg topiary. So let's get started. I found these really cute, very farmhouse looking containers at Hobby Lobby, and I picked up 2 of these. Actually, I picked out my cone shape or tree shape first. This is an 18-inch styrofoam cone, and what I did was I went shopping. I went and bought this or picked it up at Home Goods, and then I walked around the store until I found something it would fit in really well. And look at that. No glue, no adhesive necessary at all. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. And then I found these eggs I can't see them very well, but I found these eggs at Joann's that I just thought were such a pretty color. They're gonna look great on my mantle. You can use these anywhere in your home. You could use a pair of these as a centerpiece. They're not too bulky to block your view. So I bought some of these. These, you can find these eggs in bags, similar eggs in bags at Michael's, I know, and I didn't look for them at Hobby Lobby, okay? But, what I wanted to tell you is these were $16.99 each, but they were on sale for 40% off, and then I had a 25% off my entire purchase, including sale items. So these were not so bad because you're gonna need several of these to make the topiaries this big, and of course you can always make them a little smaller. Okay, so what I have done is I have my glue gun ready, and I have a bowl of the eggs. Look at that. And this has just almost all of the eggs are really small like this in these packages, and then there's some that are this size. So what I decided to do is to just use the larger ones around the outside edge. So just a little more glue here. Oh, it's still in there. A little bit of hot glue on there. Whoa. And those things happen, don't they? And then just stick it right on, okay? If your glue gun is making them too hot and they're melting the styrofoam, then you need to use a low temp glue gun. This one happens to have both temperatures, but it really doesn't matter. So we're just gonna keep going, a little bit of glue. And yes, we're gonna have lots of threads, hot glue threads on this. But if you don't know, all you have to do to get rid of them afterwards is put your hair dryer on a hot setting, but probably low blowing. Go all over it and they will totally disappear. Okay, so my set of eggs, yours might be different, has 3 different colors. So at least around the bottom, I'm gonna alternate these. And I am not gonna make you sit here and watch this entire process. But we're gonna get these around the bottom, and then I'm gonna start with the next size up, just to show you how I did it, and to show you what happens when and what we're gonna do with all this extra space that's showing here. So let me know where you're watching from, and if you have any questions, just post in the comments there. I'm gonna be watching this right along with you on Hometalk, and I would love to hear from you. If you have not subscribed to my videos here on Hometalk, I would love it if you would go ahead and follow me, and then you'll always get a notification whenever I'm going to be live, okay? I've got some more great projects coming up, so I'd love to have you tune in. All righty, let's see if we're gonna make it around here with an odd number of these, and if we're gonna have a big gap, okay? And if you want the materials to make this yourself, there's plenty of time to make this before Easter. You can click on the materials list and you will find everything I used right there, okay? So we've got this almost, look at this, almost all the way around, and it doesn't matter that some sit down in there a little bit more than others. Do I need a green one? Okay. So, do you make Easter decorations? Do you cook at home for Easter? or do you go out? We actually go out to a local buffet right here in Celebration. Whoa, whoa. See, I was trying to squeeze an extra one in there, and I'm not sure. Yep. It's gonna work. I'm gonna hold those until they stick for just a second here. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little glue between these to make these stick to each other, since they don't want to stick to the styrofoam. Okay, now we're gonna start with the small ones. And like I said, we're just gonna do this very random, and it does not matter if you leave space in between them. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with the space and it's gonna turn out to have the cutest little look to it. All right, and yeah, I want to alternate the colors. These have a green, a blue, and a white egg, but it really does not matter if you end up putting two next to each other, which I just found I just did. So I'm gonna hold those for a second. And see, there's those strings I talked about. Aren't these blue ones really pretty? They're like robin's egg blue with little brown speckles on them. So I think maybe my glue gun has gotten a little hot, and so it's taking a little longer for them to stick. So I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. I'm gonna turn this around so you can see how I'm adding these in, okay? Let's grab some white ones and some more blue ones. I've got a green one there. And if you buy these from somewhere other, if you don't buy these, this little set like this, you might have a variety of sizes in yours. And that's just fine too. It's just, this is what I found that I really liked. The color kind of goes with my home with kind of a coastal vibe in my house. So if you wanted to get really fancy, you could paint these. I actually considered painting these gold and doing them as part of a tablescape. But I ended up falling in love with these the way they were, so alrighty. Now I see we have some crises over here on the other side. Yeah, that's called my glue was too hot. I'm gonna let that dry there. Yeah, so I guess I would recommend that unless you want to hold them until they all dry, that you go with the low temp on your glue. And it's probably gonna take mine a second to cool down. So, have you ever used a styrofoam tree to make a craft thing for Christmas or another holiday? I would love to hear. Right on Hometalk, there's also a link to my giant Easter egg topiary that I made. Okay, let's do one more here, and then we're gonna go to start to fill in. I'm gonna pull some of these threads away. I'm gonna move the curling iron, the hot glue gun. I'm always calling it a curling iron. I bought my big bag of moss, super moss, and I bought the Chartreuse green. You can pick this up at any craft store, but I bought mine on Amazon. It came the next day, so that was great. And I have pulled some of it out. And what I'm gonna do is and you do have to kind of pick through it. You'll get pine needles and things. But I'm going to first find some big pieces like this and use them in these spots on the bottom. And what I have is just like a skewer, and you're just gonna gently poke those right down into those spots, okay? You don't need a flat end to do it. You can just do it just like that. Okay, now we're gonna go over here to this corner and do another piece. But doesn't that look great in there? I see we need a little piece in between these two. And we're gonna do this all the way up our topiary. I'm gonna show you. And this is gonna, like I said, if you decide you don't wanna do quite as many eggs, you don't have to. You can use more moss and less eggs. But see how easy that is to fill in like that? There we go. And you're just gonna keep working on it. This is a really easy craft. I have had a great time doing this. I have not minded making this at all. There was no trouble whatsoever. But this was one I really was happy with how it turned out. sometimes I make things and I'm like, well, that's not gonna work out. So it's like, yeah, I gotta start that one over again. But I'll turn this around for you just a second. But this one turned out probably better than I expected it to. But there we go. See how you're gonna do that? Okay, now I'm gonna set this aside instead of making you sit here and watch me glue. That's kind of like watching paint dry, right? And I'm going to show you, this one is almost finished, and I wanna show you how I'm gonna finish this at the top. You can see that I added one egg right on the top, and I'm just going to add a few eggs. And as you get to the top, you might find it harder to tuck them in. You might have bigger gaps, like right here. It's a bigger gap, but you're gonna fill it all in with the moss, so it's not gonna matter. But I wanted to show you the end of this. And once again, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions about this project or other projects that I might be able to answer. So see, we're gonna have some space up here. We're gonna fill it all in with that moss. And you can see how it fills in so nicely. You know, add a couple little bunnies to your table in the middle and put a pair of these down on either end. It'll be just perfect for your Easter table. Let's see how many of these eggs I'm going to be able to get in. I think this might, well, maybe I can get one more. I might have to turn it a little bit. I think I want it to be a white one. Yeah. I almost wish I could like flatten it so it didn't stick out so much, but that just doesn't seem right. Okay. We definitely need to squeeze one more in here. We've got two blues, so we'll give them a green one. And add it right there. And now I'm just going to finish off the top of this. See, right here we have kind of a bigger spot. And I'm just going to take my skewer, and I'm not using a pointy end of the skewer. I am using the flat end, but you don't need, and you want to use something really fine like this. I considered using a small dowel, and this was really too big around. You can see the difference. So you want to use something really small, and this is just a food skewer like I use, like to do chicken on a skewer. Okay, and again, this will be in the materials list so you can see what it is that you need. Okay, whoop, my moss is jumping away from me. And even those really small spots, you want to put moss in there. See right here, that's a tiny little spot, but we still want the moss to go in there to fill it up. And it looks like the eggs are like nestled in a nest, but in a tree shape, doesn't it? And there we go, look at that. Isn't that gonna be cute? So I have another one that I have to finish now. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Hometalk TV. Make sure you click follow me so you'll be notified anytime I'm gonna be live. And I look forward to hearing from you soon.